This is Kim Nelson. I'm going to continue my video on drawing stones. So there is my round top. Now I'm going to draw the front view. And for this stone, the front and the side view are the same because it's a perfectly symmetrical circle or round. But I'm going to draw my girdle line. And I'll draw it one block down. Straight line both sides, making it longer than it needs to be. Then I'm going to bring down some construction lines. I need to establish the width of my stone. Now when you're drafting, if you set intersect object snap, when you intersect a line, you can actually snap to it and click. So I have those two dimensions. Also useful will be the dimension for the width of the table. Also useful will be the points from the stars. Okay. Now I know that this small circle is the 16.2% for my crown height, so I'm going to move this reference geometry into position. I'm going to offset this curve through point, T-enter, till it snaps to the top of that circle, the quadrant, like so. Now, I could draw a straight line using intersect snap from the farthest or widest dimension of the table down to the widest dimension of the girdle. I could do that. The problem with that is that on a real stone, there's a change in plane right here that happens. So I'm going to draw that more like it would be in a real stone. Grab near snap for a minute. And then continue over to end snap. And finish the command. So, by doing this, I've now created a more realistic change of planes. In a diamond, you would never want to have two facets that just made a straight line. It would be flat and it would reflect like glass, which wouldn't be pretty. So, we have that. Okay. I can now draw. I'm going to mirror this to the other side. I use keyboard shortcuts, but mirror is located right here. And then I did it with 0 as the base for the mirror. I'll do it again. I'll use the buttons here. Mirror. Start of mirror point. Type in 0. Hold Shift key down and pull directly vertical to mirror to the other side. And then I'm going to draw a straight line using intersect. And it's going to be a reference line, so I will not draw it in blue, I mean in white, from there to there. And that will represent this midline down here in the front view. I'm going to go ahead and use fillet to trim off the ends of this girdle line, and I'll put that on the white layer. That's just change layer. I have a keyboard shortcut for it. That would be edit. I never use it on here. Layers, change object layer. That's why I have a keyboard shortcut for it, because it's tedious. So I have that. So now I have everything I needed from those reference curves, construction lines. I'm going to bring in some more. to finish drawing the crown. I want to draw a line from the tip of that star. From the tip of that star. From the middle star. I want to bring a line down from the table. And I'll end that line at the table because it represents this flat plane. And then I'll draw the star facets. Table, point, table, point, table, point, table. Enter. Use fillet curve again, set to 0 to clean up this table line. Put that on the white layer because it's now part of the finished drawing. Okay. These construction lines are no longer needed. I'll draw some fresh ones. I already have this one. So I'm going to draw the point of the bezel facet, the seam of the upper girdle facet, the point of the bezel facet, the seam of the upper girdle facet, the point of the bezel facet, the seam of the upper girdle, and point of the bezel. And once again, this one I already have. It's right here. Okay. And I'll go ahead and draw those facets. Point of the star, hip of the upper bezel, sorry, the bezel facet, girdle, star, girdle, star, girdle, star, girdle, star. Enter to finish the drawing command. And then for the seams, this is the center seam is already the furthest point, so we've already drawn that. Like so. Delete that. I no longer need that reference curve. I no longer need this reference circle that gave me my crown height. Now I'll draw the pavilion. Move the reference circle into position using quad. And at this point I can use either end or intersect to just snap right at the bottom of that line. So this is where my culet is. So down here I have the same thing happening. To demonstrate, I will make a copy of this using my favorite grid snap. And none of these facets are useful to me anymore except for the girdle. I'm going to draw the pavilion. I'm drawing the bottom view. Okay? From the pavilion, you have mains and lower girdle facets. Okay? The mains are the equivalent of the bezels on the top. We still need to split this about halfway. So actually I'll bring those facets back. But we don't want it, actually we don't want it, we want it halfway to the center. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line from intersect to intersect. Actually from intersect to 0. There. I'm going to divide that line in half. I'll just offset this girdle, through point, mid. Okay. On a real diamond, it's not really mid. On a real diamond, it's a little bit bigger than that. And that's just something you learn by experience, but you can draw it at mid. Drawing it at the midpoint is fine. Real stone is going to look more like this. I got scale and I meant to hit offset. no snaps active. It's going to look more like that. So I'll go ahead and use that for my drawing. Okay, so, and this is already going to have all 16 divisions on it, which is going to make my life a little easier. Intersect snap. Okay, this is the point of the bezel facet, so it will be the point of the main. Excuse me. Just like that. And I will use a polar array now to do that all the way in a circle. Polar array, center of polar array is 0. Number of items is 8. And then the only thing left to draw are the seam lines for the undergirdle facets. Like so. Okay, so we have the same idea that we had doing the crown. I'm going to bring down some construction lines. Actually, first I'm going to draw a straight piece of reference line like we did from the top. I'm going to draw it from this undergirdle facet to the culet. And then I'm going to draw a construction line straight down from this intersection. Like so. And I'll just draw it straight through. Should be green, be a construction line. And then I'm going to draw that same idea with a slight buckle or plane variation as it leaves. Use near snap and end snap. Enter to finish the command. And another blue line. Mirror this first. And another guideline or reference line to demarcate where this middle line is all the way around. And now for some more construction lines. I need to catch this one. Remember, it'll only catch the intersection there if intersect is turned on. And this one we already have. It's right there. Okay, so with those, I can now draw my mains. So here's the hip of the main. Hip of the main is right here. Okay. The point is here, coming off of the bezel facet, down to the hip, down to the culet, back up to the other main, other hip, and there you have it. This is the same as this. Okay. And we'll repeat. For the other side. Okay. This one Oops, I made a mistake. I thought that looked strange. I apologize. I hope you caught me before I caught me. If so, that's really cool. Actually, it goes, here is the hip, not there. Look, hip, center, hip. And then from here to there, to there. And I'll just mirror that over. That's much better. Those are the same. And these are the same. Okay? So I can go ahead and delete those construction lines. I can delete this reference line. I can delete the reference circle. Only thing left are the seams on the lower girdle facets. And that's it. Okay, so layout-wise, the finished drawing would look something like this. There. So you have top, front, side, and bottom. Okay, so that's a round brilliant drawn to proportion. Thanks for watching.